There's no doubt your 20s are a crazy, confusing time. Half your friends left for college, the other half were out partying and drinking, which definitely wasn't me. And no matter which side you're on, everybody agrees that they want to be financially successful in life, right? Well, great news. Since you're a blank canvas for new knowledge and habits with a lot of time on your side, it's actually pretty easy. But it's easier to fall for the common setbacks of people just trying to get ahead in life. So before you click off this video, let's get into it. Learn new skills and don't become stagnant. Kind of like Minecraft. What you gotta do is gather resources and build tools. Well, it's kind of like Minecraft. What you really want to do is learn new skills and build your skill set. The more you dive into and learn, the more that you can apply to your future self. Whether it's starting a business, making a big decision, or learning a new skill, having a toolbox of previous experience is one of the most important things that you can attain. I was in the car business for many years and it taught me a tremendous amount of things that I continue to apply to my life every single day. Prior to car sales, I was doing a lot of warehouse jobs and I was kind of shy and to myself. But after becoming a salesman, I really learned how to read people, how to read situations, how to really stay organized, and I learned a lot about credit and loans as a bonus. Let's say you want to learn how to code an app or build a website. Do it. And even if you don't apply that knowledge immediately, you still have that knowledge. So in 5 or 6 years, if you want to start a business, you're already one step ahead knowing that you can build an app or a website for your business. And learning new skills really does have a compounding effect, and it makes it a lot easier in the future for you to learn even more skills. The difficult part is trying not to become stagnant and losing motivation. Chances are, at your age, you're more worried about what your friends are doing and relationships. Now is really the time to focus on what you want your life to be and to get out of your comfort zone. Unfortunately, sitting around playing Minecraft isn't really the most productive thing that you can be doing. When's the last time you actually learned a new skill? Build credit and stay out of debt. Like I said, I was a car salesman for a long time and it blew my mind realizing that so many people don't know how credit or how loans work. And trust me, I get it. You're a young adult, got that sweet job making $16 an hour, and you want a nice car. But at your age, I promise, it's basically a trap. Unless you already make 6 figures and have no debt, buying cars that are more than what you really need is just a terrible idea. If you live with your parents, you might think that you can afford it, but I promise you can't. And if you do have your own apartment, you still can. All you're doing is paying off somebody else's mortgage. But I've seen it time and time again when somebody just walks into my dealership, takes the national average car payment of $700, they have no credit, so they have a really high interest rate, and they make the national average $35,000 a year for their age group. Cars are one of the worst depreciating assets, and it's a very bad form of debt. And once your money's tied up for the next 6-7 years in a car that's losing value day by day, it makes it very difficult for you to put money into appreciating assets like buying a house that will make you money over time. And even though buying a car will build your credit, there's safer ways to do that without having the burden and risk of a car payment. Managing credit cards properly is a great way to build credit, and the ultimate goal with credit is to be able to use it to leverage your money cheaply. What I mean by that is when you borrow money, you'll get lower interest rates. So it'll be cheaper for you to actually borrow money that you can leverage into buying a house, which is an appreciating asset that will make you money over time. But to do that, you can't have no money, no credit, and a lot of debt. Learn how to manage money and invest, but don't try to impress. I know people that make $100,000 a year that live paycheck to paycheck. And I know people that make $50,000 a year that can show you $30,000 any day of the week. Managing money really is a make it or break it when it comes to your finances, no matter how much money you make. And if you stretch yourself so thin to the point where one little hiccup can completely destroy your finances, you were playing with too much risk in the first place and you weren't managing your money properly. Setting up financial goals and boundaries is so important when it comes to your financial success. The idea that you're young and you can just make more money later on is not a good way of looking at it, and it really doesn't form good habits either. It is important to have fun when you're young, but don't make any detrimental decisions that'll set you back for years. When you're in your 30s, nobody's going to care about the car you were driving or the clothes or shoes you were wearing in your 20s. Most people are so caught up in their own lives, they can't even give more than a few minutes to think about yours. And based off the many hundreds of people that I've sat with, your 30s are arguably better than your 20s. You're more financially secure, you're more emotionally secure, you're way more wiser, and you have a better grip on life. Focusing on yourself and staying humble will not only attract like-minded people, but it'll keep people with not so good intentions at bay. And if you're subscribed to this channel, which you should be, then we already have the investing and managing money covered. Delaying gratification, don't conform. Delaying gratification and not conforming to society norms is a very smart move when it comes to building wealth at a young age. By saving and investing instead of splurging on immediate pleasures, you'll help yourself set yourself up for financial long-term success. And trust me, I was guilty of this. Shopping cart therapy. I used to always go on Amazon and buy a bunch of random things that I really didn't even need. And then after getting over the excitement of getting them, they just sit in the corner and collect dust. A good way that I learned to stop myself from doing this is I made a rule. I had to wait 3 days for me to buy something that wasn't a necessity. And typically after 3 days, I either forgot about it completely or I realized that I just didn't really want it that bad. So instead of buying 100 things throughout the year, delay that gratification, save and invest the money, and that could be the money that ends up buying you a house in the future. And I said before that it is important to have fun while you're young, but sometimes you have to miss out on fun to stack funds. What I mean by this is just because your friends go out to the bar or restaurants every week doesn't mean you have to. Budgeting accordingly for play money is very important because nowadays it's just so easy to go out to a restaurant, swipe a card, and accidentally spend $100. And after delaying that gratification for so long, you'll be able to get yourself whatever you want. But the key thing is that you need to stick with it in the first place to make this a possibility in the future. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean you should. And considering 63% of Americans can't afford a random $500 expense, I wouldn't be doing what they're doing anyways. As a young adult, it can feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Trust me, I get it. Staying healthy mentally and physically should be a top priority always. One of the best ways to do that is to actually hang out with people that have the same goals and interests as you do. Not only will it motivate you to stay focused and stay on track, having multiple minds behind a master plan is a great way to increase your odds of being successful. Just remember, live below your means and think about your future. And if you do want to learn how to speed up your financial growth twice as fast, I do recommend you check out my next video on financial minimalism. I think you'll like it. If you stuck around to the end, I do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.